Let's get it. All right, first and foremost, give me a second. What's going on? All right. All right, pretty big pullback here. Took out pre-market highs, so that's something to pay attention to. We did sweep pre-market highs, so that's why you got that drop after going higher. Now it's a little bit, you know, see if price wants to continue to go up. But you could see there's those pre-market highs right there. So we took out those pre-market highs and a bunch of sellers started to step in. 15-minute chart. Overall we're pretty bearish on the higher time frames. But on the lower time frame, we are above the VWAP. So we do also tapping into a bullish imbalance on the 15-minute chart. I'm going to a 5-minute chart. Let's see what happens here. I'll wait for this 5-minute candle to close. Give me kind of a better idea. I'll go ahead and probably draw the top of that candle. If it pushes through it, then I'll redraw it. I'll just move it. But as of now, that's the high. So we're trying to bounce off VWAP. Let's see if we can get some structure to form here. So on higher time frames, we are bearish, right? So if you look on the 15-minute chart, right, look what's happening. We're rejecting off the 200 on the 15-minute, and we took out pre-market highs. So we're trending below that 200, right? Look back here. Look what happened. Rejected off the 200 and then massive drop. So we're rejecting off the 200. So that's a pretty bearish sign, and that's on the 15-minute. Also, if you look on the hourly chart, we've just been trending lower, right? We had this high, then we had a lower high, then we had a lower high, then we took out this internal and dropping again. So overall, it's been going down lower and lower. Plus, we are pretty far below that 200 on the hourly chart. There is that gap that still needs to get filled, right? This gap right here. We have this big gap right here that still needs to get filled. So that's something to keep in mind also. When is that going to get filled? You don't really know. That's the thing. Maybe today, who knows? But when you go on a 1-minute chart, right, we are above VWAP right now. So that is a bullish sign. We'll see how this 5-minute candle closes. How much time do we got left? All right, we got 10 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the lows right here. There's pretty much those lows. All right, there's those lows. Let's see what happens now. Now those lows kind of, let's see. 155 is the VWAP. So nice. Those lows pair pretty much with that VWAP. So we'll see. Starting to form some form of structure. If price could really start to show that it wants to go higher, at least for those highs, I would be willing to take a trade. But as of now, you know, kind of staying on the sidelines. I'm going to let price do what it wants to do. In the meantime, let me check news-wise. We got any news today? Let's see. some kind of, oh, I never seen that before. Oh, okay. Some kind of all day, some kind of WEF annual meeting. It's a red folder though. President Trump at 8:30 was talking. We have pending home sales at 10 o'clock. So that's orange folder at 10 a.m. So that's something to be mindful of when 10 a.m. rolls around. Is he still talking? He was talking at 8:30. It's already freaking... Oh, actually, it's only been an hour, so... Yeah, so you gotta be careful with Trump talking. He could say anything that can cause the freaking market to drop. So you gotta be careful. We're still kind of... We're at the view op area here. So we'll see what price wants to do here. The question is it gonna stay above VWAP and buyers are going to stay in control, or is this going to drop below VWAP, start displacing below, and then, right, then the kind of bias would start shifting that price may want to go for some of these lows if we start displacing below the VWAP. But as of now, we're still in bullish territory on a shorter time frame. We are also bouncing off a massive imbalance too, so seeing if it could hold. Where was it, on the 15 minute? Right, we're tapping into this massive imbalance right there, and we got a lot of support here from previous resistance. See what happens here. If this starts displacing above, I may start getting interested in a long, potentially. I don't need a sweep. I need like a displacement, sort of. Because it's taken out an internal, but... See how this 1 minute candle closes. Oh, crap. Hold on. Oh, that filled me. Shit. Oh, I put that freaking order in too fast. Damn it. I put that order in way too fast. That was a sweep. That was not a displacement. Well, let's see what happens here. I guess I'm already in the trade, so. And then stops are gonna be below these lows here. All right, I'm in the trade regardless. Here, give me a second, I'll be back. Yeah, that wasn't a sweep. That was my fault. I really hope this thing can start displacing higher, because I put an order in way too fast. That was my fault. Oh, freaking A. Why did I do that? That was all my fault. Dang it. Now I'm gonna get wrecked for it. Ah, shit. Got stopped out. Fudge! It was my fault. It was a sweep. I accidentally placed my order before that candle closed and it entered me into the trade. Shit. I'll be back. Hold on. Sucks. That freaking sucks. I went in full size with that too. Shit. Ugh. Man, why did I do that? Why did I place that order before that candle closed? That was not an entry, that was a sweep. I figured it was gonna close up here, and then last second, I placed the order, and last second, this thing drops. I would have never placed that order if I knew that candle was gonna close like that. Oh, man. What a way to start your freaking morning. Welcome to the world of trading, where you gotta make sure you wait for that candle to close and not... Oh, that may be a sign for me to just walk away, because this is not looking... That sort of a mistake is just gonna bug me now. Especially now, it's gonna probably rip right back up after stopping me out. Oh. Gosh. Nice. Thank you, NASDAQ. Freaking bastards. Can you believe that shit? Ugh. Now there's nothing to take. There's no structure. Oh, man. Man, that trade's gonna bug the shit out of me now. I'm gonna beat myself up about that. Oh, fudge. Alright. Well, we'll wait for something else, possibly. Nothing yet. Is this gonna... Except for... These chop days have been so freaking annoying. Holy crap. It's another freaking chop day? Oh. What is it? Is it gonna drop now down to lows? This kind of price action is the most annoying shit in the world. Nice. Oh gosh. It's gonna go for the highs again. Can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. Couldn't make it up if you wanted to. Obviously, I'm not gonna take this breakout now because the risk to reward is complete garbage on that. A freaking stupid candle right there. See, you're probably gonna get buyers step in here. Looks like it wants to go for those highs again. Up here. But obviously I'm not gonna long here just because the risk to reward is complete garbage. Like, where am I gonna have my stop loss? Below the lows and then go for a 40-point TP and then a 80-point stop loss? Complete shit price action so far. Two-hour fair value gap. 2 hour. I never look at the 2-hour chart. Yes, I did take a trade. I screwed up. I'll explain what I did on accident. It's bugging the shit out of me. Alright, we're still... There is an imbalance there, yeah. It's already gotten filled from previous, though. So what I ended up doing was... I was looking for the break of this high to go long. And as there was like 10 seconds left in this candle pushed up. And then I placed the limit order like 5 seconds before candle close. And this thing last second dropped all the way down. Filled me before it closed. I thought it was going to close up there. If I would have known it was going to close all the way down here, I should have waited for the close instead of trying to jump in faster. Trying to put my order in. And it filled me and then dropped. Which, that was a sign that I should not have gotten into that trade if I knew that candle was going to close like that. Should have waited to place my order, but after the candle closed, not before it. So that was all my mistake. I should not have entered that trade. Which sucks. Sucks, but... And there's TP of that setup, but... Like I said, I'm not... really want to enter this setup just because it's like... I mean, what am I gonna... It's literally, what? 10, 20, like a 30-point TP. And then one of my stops have to be all the way down here. It's just... The risk to reward does not make sense on that trade. This first one would have been nice if we would have closed strong. But stupid freaking sellers stepped in aggressively. Nice, and it took out that low, stopped me out, and then ran higher. Freaking bastards. God, that is bothering the shit out of me, that trade. And I took it on full size. That's the problem, too. It's not, it doesn't bother, the only reason it bothers me is because I shouldn't have placed that order before that candle closed. I should have waited. And actually, what's funny is I tried to cancel it. When I saw that candle dropping at the last second, I tried to cancel my order, but it filled before I could cancel it. How much you lost? I mean, I lost 230 bucks. 230 bucks across 7 accounts. Which it's not the end of the world. That's why I say sizing is important. It's not the end of the world. It just bugs me. It's such a stupid mistake that it's just a loss that shouldn't have never happened. Because I should have never entered that trade. That's the only thing that bugs me. It's not even the amount size. It's just it's a stupid loss now that I have to make back. So there's a lesson learned. Never, always wait for candle to close before entering the trade. For me, this is a lesson for me, not necessarily for you guys. You better believe that I'm never doing that again. I am 100% waiting for that candle to close fully until I place my order. Just in case that kind of crap happens. But that's what I was looking for. This move up is what I was looking for. Great selling spot? I don't know about selling spot. I mean, you do you, but we're above UOP. Where like I said in the morning, we're in bullish territory, so you don't really want to be shorting in bullish territory. You're going against the trend. You're trying to short something that's clearly going up. Seems like SPY following Tesla. Looks like I should have bought the second break and retest, but this is why it's important to wait for the displacement, right? Because look at this candle on this break. Look, that candle closed very strong. So what did you end up getting on the second candle? You got a pullback. This is exactly what I was looking for right. Exactly what I was looking for right there. For a candle to close strong, right? Then as soon as that candle closes, it retests it to go higher. But this one last second just dropped, and that was the sign that that's going to be a sweep and not a displacement. Explain why you like smaller time frames. I mean, you look on higher time frames to see where you're at in the market, and then I go on smaller time frames for my entries, and I'm a scalper, so I'm not a swing trader, so I don't need to like look on super. I do pay attention to every time, like pay attention to the hourly chart, 15-minute, 5-minute. I pay attention to all those charts, but for my entries, I mean, I'm on 1-minute charts for my entries because I'm a scalper. Well, it's gonna, yeah, NASDAQ is gonna follow Tesla to a certain degree because Tesla is it's a big part of, Tesla is in NASDAQ. So Tesla's a part of NASDAQ, right? Yeah, Tesla's a part of NASDAQ, so it's such a big player in NASDAQ that Tesla moves NASDAQ. The reason it's not that NASDAQ is following Tesla, it's Tesla is moving the NASDAQ, so. Man, what a... Well, Damn. That was the break and retest that. Yeah, it's such a big part of NASDAQ that just volume percentage wise of the NASDAQ, it'll like if some negative story about Tesla came out, the NASDAQ would drop with Tesla to an extent, right? So what happened to Tesla? Is it moving? Yeah, I mean it's I guess it's ripping higher. But there is pretty much, yeah, today was not as good as yesterday for me. Yesterday was a good day for me. Today, a little screwed me up a little bit. Now, I mean, it's ripping to this point. I mean, where am I supposed to? That's why I wanted to take a trade down here, because I had view op. If I would have put my stop below these lows. I need to coordinate my stops so that I have him below like the 200 too, because you get bounces off the 200 too, and it ends up just like you get times where it stops you out and then it rips. If I would have had my stop below these lows over here, just a few points lower, then I wouldn't have got stopped out. But and that's why I like to buy. I like to long closer to view op. I don't like to long all the way up here. Longing closer to view op, all these protect you. So, to be honest with you, I mean, it's oh, not that big of a move. NASDAQ is absolutely ripping. I mean, we're approaching yesterday's highs. So, looks like we want to go for yesterday's highs. Possibly. There is some resistance coming up here, though. We're starting to run into some resistance, kind of where that pivot point is. We got a lot of resistance there, so we may see a little bit of a pullback. You know, but at this point, you know, it's we've run up so high that shorting here is not the smartest thing for me personally, and then longing also. I'm not longing at the top. Oh my gosh, still ripping. We'll probably see some resistance here. Some selling pressure start to step in. See what my... Just made 5K on paper trading. Nice. Stick to the plan. Continue seeing if you can be consistent. Oh. I may just call it, to be honest with you. That trade, man, that trade screwed me up mentally. Like when I lose a trade, like if I lose a trade and it's according to plan, everything was perfect. Setup was there, everything. I got into the trade and it was the losing trade. That does not bug me. But stupid little mistakes like this that cause me to lose money, that's what really bugs me. And that's another reason why I tell people always don't copy my trades. I'm somebody who makes mistakes too. So I'm also learning from my mistakes. Now I'll make sure to wait for that candle close before I place an order in. But it's sometimes you got to go through these mistakes. You learn the hard way, and then I got to look at it from the standpoint of that may save me a lot of money in the future, just learning from that mistake. Will it continue to uptrend here? I mean, we're at a point where we're coming into a resistance area, so there is going to be some selling pressure here, but if it does get through this level and start going higher, then yeah, we're going to go for yesterday's highs, most likely. If not, we could get a pullback, possibly retest this high again, possibly get a pullback and retest the high before going higher. If it fails to hold it, you got to look at the market as a balance between buyers and sellers, right? Like, how did I know we're gonna get some selling pressure come in? Not because of that pivot point. If you look on a higher time frame, right? Look on a 15-minute chart. Let me see if it's better to see it on an hourly chart. Let me see hourly. It's better on a 15-minute. Hold on. If you look on a 15-minute chart, you look to the left. What do you have right here? Look at all this right here. This is all previous support that eventually broke. So now if we tap back into it, this is all going to hold as resistance to an extent, right? That's why I said it's got to get through all this. And if it does get through all that, it's going to go for that high up there. If it fails to get through that, then you look at the next spot. All right, if it fails to get through here, as you can see, it's struggling to get through there. Then we could get a pullback. We could get a pullback and possibly hold this high. So you're probably going to see buyers step in here to try to hold this as support. And if they fail to hold this as support, we're going to go lower until buyers can start stepping in again, holding it at, pushing it back up. Then maybe this level. Then if this level breaks, then we go for a low. If that low can't hold, then we go lower. And it's just like, that's just how the market moves. It's not like I'm a freaking psychic and know that we're gonna get some trouble over here. It's just how price moves. And plus, when you have a lot of profit taking, like when a lot of people take profits, right? The buying pressure starts dying down because everyone's taking a lot of profit taking going on. That may not be so much for NASDAQ because you pretty much got algos running the market. So, I don't know. They're probably taking profits super quickly. I don't know how their algos work. But you really don't know. That's the thing. It's like somebody asked, will it continue to uptrend? You really don't know. The only thing you could do as a trader is you wait and react, right? Like, you wait for possibly the breakout and then react off of it. Buyers are coming in. It's breaking out of a level. You're waiting for the pullback to continue going a direction. Right? In the morning, someone said, are we short? Like, are we short biased or whatever? Like, no, I was long biased in the morning. We opened up and we were clearly, yes, on higher time frames, we were bearish. But on a lower time frame, we're holding VWAP pretty nicely. We're above VWAP, we're holding, look at the 200. We've been holding the 200, pushed above it, and we're holding it pretty nicely. So buyers are in control. And that's why I was only looking for a long setup here. But But yeah, keep trading on a paper account, and then once you gain the confidence, a lot of people try to jump to funded and evaluations too quickly. It's once you gain the confidence and you can consistently prove to yourself that you can make money on a paper, well then, you know, then you can kind of go to another account with more confidence, whether you want to go with a funded account or another route. But then you have way more confidence and you're not scared to take trades because you already know you have a system going on. We're all still learning. Trading is a type of thing you're never gonna stop learning. You're always gonna learn from your mistake. Just like today, right? I learned a valuable lesson today. So even I've been trading for, you know, coming on 3 years. I learned a valuable lesson today that is potentially gonna save me a lot of money down the road. So I shouldn't really look at it as a loss in that sense. Because I'm sure that's going to happen again. And now because I learned from today's mistake, when it happens again, I'm going to wait for that candle to fully close before placing a limit order. But we were clearly bullish this morning. Boo, doo, 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 doo. Now it's like, you know, I may just call it here, to be honest with you. I may just call it here and walk away because I don't think I'm going to get another setup. Unless this thing really drops all the way down to view up and starts showing signs of structure. Other than that, if this thing just continues to... Even if it pulls back to this high here, I still don't want to get long just because my stop has to be so freaking wide. And we're at a top, so... Or I could. I mean, it's the thing. It's a little more risky. Yeah, it's too wide of a stop. I mean, it's... All right, I'm gonna call it probably. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, it's starting to go. Yeah, it's gonna be... I mean, I could take this retest, but I don't know if it's smart to take that retest. My stop just has to be so freaking wide that it doesn't make sense. The risk to reward just doesn't make sense. I like that initial long in the morning because I kind of figure price is going to go. You kind of have an idea where price is going to go. So here it's like you do have an idea, but it's a little less probability in my opinion. I'm hype as fuck, but I'm gonna stop playing around before I get cooked again. I hit that long from the bottom. Yeah, if you hit that long from the bottom, then it's a good idea to walk away. Get your trade, walk away. Typically, it's not because you don't really get multiple good setups a day. Typically, for me at least, right? I typically get like one. Sometimes there are days like yesterday where you got multiple good setups a day. But most of the time, all you need is one good setup and to walk away. And if you can consistently hit that one good setup a day, then protect your profits, because it will screw you up mentally too. If you made profit and then you take another trade and you give all that profit back, right? It could mess you up mentally and you could revenge trade after that. So yeah, I would say call it a win and walk away. Or if you do still want to trade, just size down. Size down a lot to the point of if you do take a loss, it's not going to hurt you at all. You're kind of just like... How can you trade when you have a president who says tariff and it's over? Yeah, that's why you got to have stop losses. You got to be careful. That's just the risk of trading in today's market is, Trump could say something at any point. Something could happen. I've seen it happen when we were live, right? That one crazy dump that happened that freaking made a bunch of people go broke. Literally in a live market. Remember that dump that happened from that massive news? We're literally sitting here watching, and all of a sudden the market just starts dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and it just won't stop dropping. That's the kind of situation that could happen at any moment. You never know. That's why you have to have stop losses in place, because if you don't, that's just one way that eventually it will happen to you and you're gonna blow up your account. But it's a part of trading that you just gotta deal with. Yeah, and it's like, that was me. Yeah, it's a lesson that you gotta like, I personally learned that lesson the hard way too. I learned the lesson the hard way. I've blown accounts before because I didn't have a stop loss in. But that's something I learned. Now I don't never do that ever again. And sometimes if you see me on the chart and I don't have a literal stop loss, there is a level that I have in mind that I'm just like, if it breaks this, I'm out 100%. But most of the time I like to put a physical stop in place just in case it really starts dropping. But yeah, it's just a lesson that you need to learn and make sure you never do that again. It's maybe it's something that every trader has to go through. I don't know. Seems like it's something every trader does go through, so. Because especially a lot of new traders have this stupid mentality of oh, it's gonna go up. I'm just not gonna have a stop loss and it'll eventually go back up. It's one of the dumbest mindsets to have. Stop losses don't work if the stock goes down below the stop loss and you're holding your... Well, you can get slipped. Yeah, there are situations where you can get slipped, but it typically does, If it doesn't fill you, then that's why you need to have a flatten all button. If you see that crap dropping and it goes through your stop loss and doesn't fill you, then you gotta flatten all. You gotta make sure to get out of there as soon as possible. That doesn't happen often, right? It's not like it happens often, but it's enough to... Do you use... No, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. See, with the live account, it's a little more simple for that kind of, because if you trade a live account and you have isolated margin account, that means your margin is isolated for that position. So the broker will get you out of that position. So it's like you can only lose what you put into that position in an isolated margin account. So that's why if you ever, this is just like a tip, if you ever decide to go to live trading, never trade cross margin account. Always trade isolated margin account. Because then you're protecting yourself. The most you can lose is the margin you put into that trade. So you can't have an instance where the market starts dropping like crazy and you blow your whole account. They will get you out of that position. But if you have a cross margin account, you could be holding. They're gonna start taking margin from your account to cover that trade. Just the tip. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but so here's what happened. I said we can get some resistance here, right? We had some sellers try to step in, and then buyers took back over, and then here we are breaking out of the highs again. Looks like we want to go for yesterday's highs. Do you use, average? You're talking about like a moving average? I do use moving averages, exponential moving averages. This right here, this gold line is the 200 EMA. So it's the 200 exponential moving average. The 200 and the view op are the only things I use in terms of, well, the 200 is the only moving average that I use. And then I got view op and pivot points, and that's it. But yeah, it's looks like we're probably going some higher time frame wise. Yeah, look at in the morning. We literally bounced off of that freaking imbalance, that high right here. Here's a break and retest on a higher time frame, right? We broke out. We had this structure here in the morning form. We broke out of that structure. We came back. We retested that high, and then we bounced off it and went all the way higher. You see these break, that's why I tell, break and retest is like, I think it's one of the easiest, it's one of the best strategies to learn, right? Look at this low right here. Look at this low. So it made a low, tried to go higher, or even take this for example, right? We had all this structure form. We broke below that structure, right? We displaced below it. What happened? We came back up. We retested the structure as resistance. Then we started to go lower. Now, right? Then we bounced off of here. We started to go lower. Then we broke this structure here. We broke that structure. Price comes back up. Look at this wick right here. Taps back into this structure, turns into resistance, and then we go lower. Then we have this structure. We break out of that structure, come back, retest it to go higher. Like, you see this happen time and time and time again. Here's a structure. Breaks out of it, comes back, retests it to go higher. I mean, you see this happen all the time. It's just how the market moves. Here's another one. You have this structure. You break out. Broke out of this structure right here with displacement. It comes back, retests it as support to go higher. I think it's the best strategy, personally. It's a little like, it's a strategy that you have to have patience with. Because you can't just take stupid breaks of structure and expect it to work. You got to be patient and wait for good breaks of structure. No, this is NASDAQ. I took that long earlier. Nice. Yeah. I mean, look, you could, at this point, this is why I like break of structure. At this point, like, even when you had structure right there, you see how it price came up and broke out of that structure with, you know, with volume. It came out, broke out. At that point, I kind of figured there's a huge probability, right? I figured there's a huge probability when we broke out of this high and displaced above it that we're going to go for this high up here, right? But when you have a better risk to reward, if this kind of was lower and I was able to have a little bit better risk to reward, it's just like I could have taken that trade, but the reason I didn't take that trade was because the risk to reward was kind of garbage. I would have had to have my take profit at the highs up here because of the fact that we could sweep those highs and go lower. Yes, hindsight 2020, we ended up breaking through and going higher and higher, but if I can find something like this in the morning where, you know, and that's kind of where I was looking for the first trade here. That's what I was looking for, the candle to close strong, to come back and retest it to go higher, but it swept it instead of closing strong. But when you're able to kind of get an entry somewhere down here on a break of structure, and you're able to have your stop loss below the 200, below the view up at a low, you put yourself in a position where, you know, above, in a good spot, a high probability spot. And that's kind of where you want to position yourself in the market, is you want to take high probability. And we are coming onto an area 10:30. Remember, sell-offs do happen at 10:30, so that's something you got to be careful with too. And keep in mind that this thing could go higher, but this thing also could start selling off at 10:30. That's like a time frame that I am mindful of if I am in a trade. Yeah, this is NASDAQ. And look at this, right? Somebody said earlier to like it was a good time to short. Yes, I could see why you're saying it's a good time to short, right? If you look on that 15-minute time frame, I understand why you would think that, because we're coming into like a resistance area here. I understand why you think it would be a good time to short, but at the same time, you got to think about, we're in bullish structure. So yes, you could short, but you're going against the trend. And look what happens. If somebody tried to short that, unless they were scalping for like, 20 points or whatever, and a quick scalp, that's different. But you could see every time you would try to short, right, price breaks out, stops you out. Then if you try to short again, price comes back up, breaks out, and stops you out. Like, I see that happen to a lot of traders. They just try to trade against the flow. Like, why not go with the buyers? Why not, if price is ripping up, if price is ripping to the upside, why not look for positions to go long? Especially if you know, like, price is most likely going to go for that high up there. It looks like it wants to go for that high. So why not position yourself to go with the flow instead of going against it? I'm telling you, that one simple rule can absolutely transform your trading. The simple rule of not looking for shorts below view up, only looking for longs. That simple thing can absolutely put you, in a way better spot. Ugh. Man. Getting tired. But I don't know. Honestly, I think it's a good time to possibly just walk away. I don't think this is gonna. Maybe just be good to call it an early trading day. Plus, that stupid mistake I made earlier is kind of still bugging me. Hell yeah, view op for the win. Love the standard deviation bands for it too, as a kind of a ruler. Yeah, it's a good. It is good to use. Now, obviously, you know, view op is not meant to be used to take trades off of, but when you can pair it, like when you get a setup near a long setup near view op and it's bouncing off view op and you're getting a long setup, it just gives you extra confidence in the trade, you know. And then you have another kind of confluence together. Couple confluences above view op, and you could put yourself in such a good position. I mean, I feel like people try to overcomplicate. You know what I heard yesterday? Oh my gosh. I feel like people try to overcomplicate trading. Now, trading is difficult. Not for the fact of like it's difficult because it's a battle against yourself. That's the problem that a lot of traders go through. But like, I don't know why people make trading to be out so like, I heard somebody say in an interview that trading is harder than brain surgery. Literally said trading is harder than brain surgery because, and she like gave this explanation, but come on, really? Harder than brain surgery? Trading is not harder than brain surgery. It really isn't. And if that's your mindset that trading is harder than brain surgery, that says a lot about that. You're probably complicating the crap out of this thing. Like, people make statements like that. Like, I don't know if they try to like hype it up in a sense of, I don't know. I have no idea why they say. Maybe they really do believe that. But me personally, I don't think trading is harder than brain surgery. You know, you screw up on a trade, you lose money. That's one thing. You screw up on a patient, you lose a life. That's a completely different risk to reward thing. So, definitely is not harder than brain surgery. I just find it funny. Like, people make statements like that so confidently, too. And then other people go, yeah, it is. Like, I read the comments, and people are like, yeah, it is. Trading is super hard, man. It is definitely the hardest thing in the world to do. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, really? Hardest thing in the world to do? You guys are overcomplicating the crap out of this thing. It just shows your psychology is not in the right place. It is a battle against yourself. I'm not saying it's easy. It's by no means easy. But if you can have discipline and you can really like keep yourself in check to not overtrade, to have rules, it's really not that difficult. Ugh. All right, looks like we're just pushing higher and higher and higher at this point. It looks like we want to go for yesterday's highs. We're not far away from yesterday's high. At this point, I think we do go for yesterday's highs. Because like I said, this was kind of the last right here. This pullback right here was the last area for kind of sellers to take over. And I said, if they fail to take this over, we're probably going for those highs. And so they failed to take over. Buyer stepped back in, broke structure again, and now we're looks like we're going for those highs. Those highs are up there at 25,430. So 25,430 where my cursor is, those are those highs. So we're literally what, 10, 20, 30, we're 40 points away from the highs. And when you look at it that way also, like when price starts to break structure and then you have an idea of, all right, price wants to go for this high. We failed to go lower. Price is breaking back out. So it most likely wants to go for this high. And when you have those ideas, you can position yourself in a good spot. So, all right. I think I'm going to Price is going for those highs, so there's really no trades for me to take. Again, it's like I could take these break and retest, but I just feel like they're lower probability, and it's just not, there's no reason when I could just be patient and wait for a really good break and retest, like closer to view op. I can put myself in such a better position than trying to catch these break and retest that you don't know if it's going to hold because it pushed up. It's at a high. So yeah. All right. I'm going to, what? It's 10:30, so I'm going to hop off. There's not going to be any more trades for me to take today, so. Live visibility restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and is restricted in search results as we have detected suspicious activity that may violate our integrity and authenticity policies. If you think we made a mistake, you can appeal. What the hell did I do? What did I do that TikTok is now like... Explain this to me. Just passed my 10K of too much. Nice. Congratulations. It feels good to pass a challenge. It definitely feels good. Now just protect that account. Keep having rules for yourself to protect yourself. And you know, you can go pretty far. And there it goes, going to those highs. All right, I'm going to hop off. I will I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. Don't overtrade. Follow your rules. There's always tomorrow, right? If you had a bad day in trading or something, there's always tomorrow. Walk away. This is a long-term game. We're literally 2026. We're 21 days into 2026 out of 365. So think about it in those terms. 21 days out of 365. So keep it pushing. Don't revenge trade and go on tilt. So, all right, y'all stay safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.